Ця пісня лунає з самої землі, в ній заклик поколінь та прагнення до волі. Нікуди не зникала, вона була завжди, її слова зберіг вільний вітер в полі. Гори додали своє життя, б'ють в барабан хвилі у морі. Бачили різне, відвагу, любов, пам'ять крізь час та надію крізь горе. Поверніться живими, герої, ви мусите жити під сонцем новим. Для тих, що чекали вдома, для тих, що не повернулись живими. Поверніться живими, будь ласка, розкажете дітям ще на ніч казку під сонцем новим. Розвійте дим, брудні ворогів розтануть сліди. Якби ж одної чистої віри достатньо було, щоб перемогти, і правди одної достатньо, аби смерті до ворога шлях знайти. Доволі, якби було слово поета, щоб назад полетіли ракети. Якби ж, почувши дитинний плач, із сорому скоїв самогубство кат. Але ні, якщо б не герої, якби не їх воля залізна, коли б не взяли до рук зброї. Складати вірші було пізно. Вчорашні звичайні люди сьогодні тримають землю і небо. Ніхто не знає, що завтра буде, але вони роблять все, що треба. Поверніться живими, герої, ви мусите жити під сонцем новим. Для тих, що чекали вдома, для тих, що не повернулись живими. Поверніться живими, будь ласка, розкажете дітям ще на ніч казку під сонцем новим. Розвійте дим, брудні ворогів розтануть сліди.
That was a little tune by, let me get it right, Ilya Latte. Ilya Latte made that tune, guys. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another great stream tonight. We have a wonderful guest today. Paige in Kansas is going to be on. We're going to talk about her trip to Ukraine and get into the current mission. The current mission, guys. Lots going on in the news today. Lots going on in the news. Lots going on in the United States news. Congressman Swalwell running for governor in California just announced. We have Marjorie Taylor Greene and now retiring from politics, retiring from Congress at least. But if you haven't noticed, in the United States, there is news every freaking day. Every day, something new. And we need to circle back on this channel and remember what we're here for. And that's what we're going to do today. So without any further ado, I am going to bring Paige on. Let me switch over. Can you hear me?
Hello, I can. Hi.
Cool. Let me deactivate my camera and come on over there. There we go. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How are things going? It feels like forever since we got to talk.
Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to share. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to share this on Twitter on my other phone, and I had to get the verification code on this phone. There we go. It's been okay. I'm here. Could be worse.
Could be
Could
worse.
be, you know.
Could be better.
Yeah.
Right. So let's hear it. Let's hear. I think the last time we talked to you, you were in a little village house in some town in Ukraine on your phone, live streaming on the show.
Oh, I forgot we did that. Yeah,
It's
I
been a
forgot
while
we did
ago.
that.
What was
Yeah.
what was it like there? How are things? How are the troops holding up? How's the morale?
So the morale of the troops each time I've gone has always surprised me. I would say like how good it is. I would say that this time was definitely, especially for a lot of the units that myself and my Ukrainian partners support, are territorial defense units, and a lot of those guys have been at the front since March of 2022. So you know they don't get much time. They're not able to rotate back very often, so at all. I mean, like they get like a week or something here and there, maybe if they, or if they're injured, they get a little more time. But so they're definitely tired, and but no matter how tired they are, how many injuries they've received or whatever, it's not optional for them to fight. So because a lot of them, depending on which group they are, and where they're out of, some of them are fighting 40 miles, 50 miles in front of their family members. So they know damn well what'll happen if they give up, and they're going to be the next, they're going to have to deal with them, whether they're there and protecting their family or back home if they all give up. So that's just like, that's not even an option. So, that's like, even when they are tired, that's kind of the overall message with a lot of them. They're like, this is my job, my duty. Like I don't want to be doing this, which they didn't want to be doing it before, but they're doing it. So that's kind of the overall. So still positive, still, the dark Ukrainian sense of humor that I love so much is still very much alive and kicking. And that sense of humor is I think a big, not I think, I know a big, I think one really important part. It's really helped them continue to keep going, to not just give up from exhaustion.
There's no really option at this. I was talking to one of my buddies over here before he went back, and he was like, everybody says they're tired. It's like, well, what is this? What is tired? I don't know what this means. Like, this doesn't compute to me. So it makes sense. Wanted to let you know also, Rowan is in the chat right now.
Is he? I need to get over. I'm trying to I was trying to share it, and then
how you doing,
like
bud?
an old lady.
Good to see you in the chat. How was it like meeting Rowan since he's here?
Sorry, was that to me?
Yeah.
Oh, what did you ask?
How was it like meeting Rowan since he's in the chat?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was funny because it was there we are. Okay, now I can see us and the chat. All right. I love the little stickers you guys make. Those are so funny. I might not show up in the chat because this is on my work phone, but I can see what you guys are saying. Yeah, it was, so we ended up, because I had been working with you, or you had gotten in touch about helping getting him like new uniform and stuff to head back to the front. And so he and I had messaged a little bit, and I was able to kind of on my way back toward the Polish border, we were able to set up a time and roll through the little place where they were. I don't even remember where it was. I wouldn't say, but I'm just saying like somewhere. And it was like I think it was after curfew or right near curfew, and it was pitch black. And so we're like just pulling up on the dirt road, and he comes out and he's so nice. I love him, dude. It was such a nice, I don't know. And it was just a good time. And I brought him a new helmet, and yeah, got to meet him. Not very long though. It's a lot of the time our deliveries or drops or whatever are pretty quick. So I'm kind of used to that. You get there, you exchange stuff, you take some pictures, give hugs and say, hopefully I see you next year kind of thing. Like that's really just kind of kind of the routine. So, but yeah, it was really great to meet him, and I was really excited to because I don't think I told you about it. I don't think I told you I was going to meet him, or I don't know. I don't think I confirmed it because I think I just sent you a picture of him and I together.
Yeah, you said you might be able to help when you can swing when you're swinging out of the way,
Right.
but next thing you know, you're like, hey, by the way.
Yeah. We're like, here we were together. Yeah, that was really fun. That's fun.
Yeah, that's something almost like hey Rowan, how many times do you meet some strange American woman down a dirt road in Ukraine handing you gear and vice versa? That's something straight out of like a spy novel, like 007 meeting down dark road.
I have a lot of stories now that like I'll tell stories sometimes, or I'll say things and I'm like, did that just come out of my mouth? Like, what is this life? Like somebody followed me on Twitter recently who was like really high up in the Air Force. He's a fighter pilot, and I was like, oh, that's kind of random. And then I said that I was like, oh, he might have heard of me from he might have just know about me through the other fighter pilots that I talked to, or that I've met, or whatever. And then I was like, what the what?
Yeah, it's been happening to me too. I've been finding in my Facebook that I like digital creators that are like in Washington DC and going around the world, and all of a sudden they're popping up on my personal feed, seeing pictures of my kids like holding these little signs up. I'm like, how'd you find me? Yeah,
I'm just a Midwestern soccer mom over here, but
yeah, hey, whatever works, right?
Yeah, no, it's funny. So yeah, I've really interesting and sometimes fun opportunities through all of this, I guess, as a silver lining. But and in general, most of those opportunities serve a purpose. They are like networking or planning or advising or something, that advocacy or things like that. So it's not all just like, just fangirling over people or whatever. Like it's just having these opportunities to meet people and stuff that I never would have met otherwise, from all over the world, really. So that has been pretty cool.
It helps with business for sure, I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So how is the fundraisers going? How's the donations going now as opposed to, let's say, 6 months ago?
So like right at the end of this trip, everything dropped off. This trip meaning when I was in Ukraine in like May and June, like completely. And that happened every once in a while. There's like a few, usually 2 or 3 like really slow weeks. And I've talked about this with other fundraisers, some larger groups, some individuals like myself. But the thing was that it didn't really come back. And I think looking back and looking at other things with the economy and like even housing inventory and things like that, like people aren't spending money. People in 2025, probably since the election, but especially the beginning of the year, like aren't spending money, because if you don't have money, you're not spending money, especially not big ticket things. But also, there's just a lot more unknown. So it's a lot more difficult for people to justify, understandably, to give away money. And so I think that's a lot of it. I think people are giving money to political campaigns and stuff too, for midterms and all that stuff, which again, that also in a way does, and it's more in some elections more than others, affects Ukraine as well. So kind of is what it is. But it seemed like it picked up a little bit in the last couple of months. Not much, but not as bad. Like for a while there, it was like somebody had also mentioned to me, and this was a good point because I was talking about social media and different platforms and stuff, and they'd said Twitter is so heavily saturated with fundraisers now, which is honestly unfortunate. I get that everybody wants to help, but at the same time, not everybody needs to be doing drone fundraisers or things like that, And so, because it's harder it's harder to be seen when for other critical needs, fundraisers for other critical needs. And we all know drones are sexier than food and medicine and surgeries or adult diapers, so I get it that people want to help with that stuff a lot more. For the record, I can help with drones too and have, but a lot of the guys actually don't even ask for drones anymore because, in fact, I haven't had a request for drones in a long time, because they repurpose the ones that they drop from the Russians. So they jam them, they come over, they jam them, and then they go collect them. They pop. I actually have a couple of videos that I just have to edit, like background and their faces and stuff. But it's pretty simple. Walk up and pull unhook the battery, and then they remove the explosive and just toss it because it's ineffective. And then take the battery and the drone body, I guess, itself. So, and the propellers and all that stuff. So they can do that. So they don't really, and they have graveyards of other drones that have exploded, but like there's still a whole like arm of it and the propellers, they can pull the props off and reuse those. So just like they have the whole during the whole war, the Ukrainian soldiers have been incredibly resourceful with that. So that's been really helpful. The jammers have been the biggest thing that I've like high ticket or technological item that I've had a lot of requests for. We've supplied probably somewhere around 5 or 6 like full systems for vehicles, which is usually 4 antenna on the top of the car. Now that doesn't jam all of the frequencies. So I saw this last time I was there, we were near the Zaporizhia front. We were about 10 miles from the zero. So not in an area where we were staying obviously very long, but because of drones. But there were like every military vehicle there had these jamming systems on the top, and some of them had like I think like 8 to 10 antenna on the top of their vehicles. So that was pretty gnarly. I hadn't seen that before being there, because that really wasn't. Has just been developed. I mean, they were building, like I had guys when I was there in 2024 that had built their own drone jammer for their car, but those aren't as necessarily as effective as some of these larger systems.
Right, and the fiber optic cables that they're coming with those drones too, I'd imagine that.
Yeah. So, and that is, of course, that is happening, but it's in certain areas more than others. Like, I haven't seen or heard about those much from my groups. They are there and they have, they use them, but like along the front, but they're just like with other equipment, that some areas have more heavy artillery and so on. They just they're not using them, I guess, which honestly, I'm guessing has more to do with the fact that a lot of those, in certain areas, the guys they'll use the fiber optics to tether drones. So it's not necessarily like the fiber optic drone is the one that's exploding, but it's basically they're using the fiber optic, just for anybody that doesn't know. So this drone will be attached by this fiber, and that can go to a certain point, and then it can communicate with this other drone, and that maybe is the one that actually detonates. But because a lot of these guys are still fighting in areas where there are like a lot of tree lines and stuff, they might be less likely to use those in those areas, because sure, they can use that last one, but it's also pretty hard to navigate with some of those FPVs and those tree lines anyway. So if you're putting one in there with the, so I'm just guessing that, or maybe just because the availability, maybe they just haven't been distributed as much yet, but that's all. I know that they're being used, but just not everywhere.
Yeah, I see pictures online. They've got like entire areas of cities netted, completely netted from the entryway to the road, all the way down the road to wherever, as far as you can see, the netting goes, and it seems to be impactful. Definitely the trees. I know there's a couple of people down in Kherson that have been documenting the human safari down there, and that the trees in the springtime and summer are what keep everybody alive, because people can hide underneath it and the drones really can't find you and then get caught in the trees, which
Yeah.
is wild. It's just wild to me how that's happening down there.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen too. There's more videos coming out of certain areas. Sorry, I'm just looking through some of the. A couple of you have said hi in the chat, so hi. This is Chungus is really quiet. Speak up, dude.
All right, I'll turn it up. I just ate hella pizza with my kids. Like, it got me sleepy.
Oh, what was I just about to go on about?
Drones, trees.
Drones and trees.
We're starting to see a new video of.
Oh yeah. So at certain areas along the front, like just along there are like entire roads that have like a big net over them, and they're just nets. And so they, if they are struck by a drone, it'll get caught and it might detonate, but it isn't hitting the vehicle. So it's like a little road, like a road, just one lane or two lanes of just net up the side and over the top. And that's just, they have to replace the net, but that's a relatively cheap way. And there's have been guys that a lot of them will put like around there. And all of this, I'm only mentioning stuff that I know has been in videos online, so I'm not giving anything away. But, like use chain link fence and stuff, like just get a bunch of chain link fence and unroll it, kind of does the same kind of thing. So it doesn't, you have to replace it. It's not a permanent fix, but it definitely can get them caught or make them detonate, not on you.
Right. Yeah. The things I've been seeing down here, son, it's probably been the most horrid things I've ever seen. They're just hunting people, and some of the stories coming out, they're like a little old lady that's been taking care of the goats there and refuses to leave, and she just got so excited when she knew an American journalist was there, and then a week later she was dead, and there she is with her goat on the freaking side of the road.
Yeah, I saw that image.
Absolutely tears me apart. So you got to meet up with the senior sergeant of the 14th Mechanized Brigade, the current fundraiser that I am doing out of your donor box.
I did not meet up with him.
You didn't get to meet up with him this time.
No, they were in an area that I probably wouldn't be allowed to go to.
Pretty hot.
And by that I mean by the people the soldiers and volunteers that the soldiers that they wouldn't. There are certain areas or certain times where they're like, I'm not risking, we don't want to risk taking you in this area. So, and it hasn't, of course it's been like that before, but that's even where we can go has changed a lot since. I think I was just talking to somebody and I posted about this recently, just that how much has changed. In 2023, I stood at this where it used to be an aqueduct outside of Chasiv Yar, but I could see the ruins of Bakhmut down this, there was this long straight road and it was all dirt. It used to be real roads, but it was all dirt. And I'm looking at these buildings and it was 2 weeks after Russia had taken Bakhmut the second time. And Wagner was still there. So I'm looking at they're right freaking there. And we did have to dip pretty quick because there was a Russian surveillance drone over us eventually that could send, could be sending coordinates to an artillery team. So we did get out of there pretty quick, but we couldn't even get that close anymore with, we were standing there out at this where the scene where these now historic battles have taken place and stuff. And so I'm grateful that I had that experience and was able to, take photos and have the stories and things that these soldiers were telling me about and everything from there. But it's kind of surreal even thinking about it now that you can't do that anymore because there's just constant that is just everywhere. So
do you ever get that hindsight feeling you just sit down later on, you're like, I could have died right then?
several times.
Like, I know you called me when you were at the village, or no, you didn't even call me. You texted me. I think you texted me and you're like, oh my God, something is beeping outside of the, and I'm like, what the fuck? Turn your phone off.
That was something where I don't know what that was. So, yeah. So that was a town outside of Dnipro. I don't even know how close we're. Somewhere within 50-ish miles of the front, probably. Of like the front. I don't know. Like, when I say that now, that's expanded more because of the FPV drones. I usually consider that, I don't know what the actual rules are, but before I would consider like within 10 miles, like the, where a lot of the artillery was hitting. It's like early on, 5-10 miles. Now that's expanded more to like 20 miles, but right. And with the 0 being like at the trenches or where there's like active or, looking at where they are. So that's another big difference. Now is just the number of the Shahed drones and other types of larger drones at night. Every single night I could hear them.
Right.
And it's the sound in and of itself is psychological terrorism for the Ukrainian people, because it's more, theirs is like a higher sound, like a kind of buzz, and then you hear that and you don't know if it's multiple or one or whatever, and they can change direction sometimes. So you can hear it getting closer, and then you can hear pop, 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 like the air defense. And then you kind of wait for a second. It's like, and then you wait for an explosion, or you continue hearing the because they got through or whatever. And then sometimes you hear it. So it's just, it's messed up because you just have to sit and like wait. And sometimes it is really, and so that one of those, I think based on the time, probably, I think air defense probably got it, but it kind of kept going a little bit, like it kept traveling a little bit in our direction. So it hit pretty close. But yeah, then like I'm sitting there and like, and all, a couple of car alarms go off. All the dogs are all barking. The animals are still, like, they're not used to that. They still get scared from the sirens. They still get scared from explosions. Yeah, so then it's like quiets down a little bit, and then I hear this beeping, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like sitting outside, and it's like, we're pretty far out in the country, so it's quiet there. Otherwise, every once in a while you hear like a car driving in the, but this was after curfew, so really really weren't. You might hear a train go by, which Natasha has like train tracks near her house, and it took me the first time I was there, and every once in a while still when I do hear stuff at her house, I'm like, is that a jet or is that a missile or a train? Just a train. Okay, we're fine. But yeah, so there was just this beeping, and it was like a new beeping, and then I was just like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, she's gonna get killed telling me she can hear beeping outside. I'm like, take your fucking American SIM card and turn your shit off right now. That's all I can think of. It was like, this is it.
I think it was probably like, because like I said, like a couple of car alarms and stuff went off. So I think it was probably something like that. Like something had reset, somebody, a battery. I don't know, but it was definitely eerie.
God, how nutty is that? Oh. So how many?
I forgot about that.
No, I didn't. I was like, oh my God. Like, it sounded terrifying the way you're describing it. Worse than a scary movie. So
I don't know.
Yeah,
in the moment it's a little different, I think, because
I felt afraid for you. I mean,
oh, thanks.
So how many units? I know this current one we're helping the 14th Mechanized on my channel, but this is a bigger donor box. How many units right now are you helping in total, approximately?
I'd have to check. I mean, we've had to cut back on requests a lot because of the decrease in donations. So, which is unfortunate. Obviously, we try to still help as many different groups as we can, just prioritizing, which we've had to prioritize the whole time. But because we had about 15 that we were helping on a regular basis, units. A couple here and there were like from the same brigade. But and we had a couple of new groups that we did help. I got to meet some guys. We went up to Sumi and met some guys from the 325th or 420. I can't remember. Then there's so many numbers now. They're an assault regiment. They were the first regiment. They had just gotten a motorcycle group, which was pretty cool. So met them up in Sumi and stayed in Sumi and then went out to their position out closer, which is honestly the closest I've ever been to Russia. It's that we were maybe, I don't know, it was less than 15 miles.
Oh dang.
Yeah. So we helped them out with some stuff. I got to see some pretty cool I forget the grads. I think it's like a truck that shoots out. I can't remember the number or whatever. Like I said, there's all the brigade, battalion, regiment numbers on top of the weapon. Like, I think it's the 425th. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I can look it up later I'll remember it later for anyone who's interested. But they're really, and so that was the first time that we had, and the way we got connected through them was one of the commanders went to school with Natasha and had reached out just about helping out with some of that stuff. So we every once in a while will help a different group here and there. I would say we had 15 on a regular basis. I would say we're probably closer to 8 to 10 now. I'd have to go back and look because we just are constant, they're constantly coming in. So I have to would actually have to go through and sort them. But I would say 8 to 10 on a regular basis. And then we still do some occasional civilian aid when we can. Like there's this family that was a man and wife and their daughter, and they were refugees. The man had a stroke. So they were asking for help with just like diapers for the man and daughter. Like if you're at the point where you're having to ask for help for that, you know that they don't have a lot of other things. But primarily medication is the biggest thing that we've helped with civilians.
Cancer treatment as well, right?
Yeah, this woman's stripes. Good to see you too. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, if you guys noticed, we view in the chat right there, that is Rowan. That is a soldier right there that we have been helping, one of my buddies. And we got a little emoji for him right there, just to let you know. But shout out to Rowan for being in the chat. Nice to see you, man. Really cool to see you.
I don't know what an Aussie Bushmaster is. I can't tell if that's a joke.
No. It's a vehicle.
Okay.
I believe it's a vehicle. I hope. Maybe? You can ride in it.
I bet you can.
I don't know if that makes it any better.
I don't know what it is.
So guys, I'm just going to show you real quick. I'm going to plug the fundraiser, guys. I've got it pinned in the chat. It's Give Butter. All you got to do is earmark for the 14th. It's real easy to donate. You just click the little button there on the link. Pops right up. It is a 501c3, which is like a huge deal in the United States for tax write-offs. But you just donate here. It's that easy. Make your donation amount. Send it on over, and you can leave a little message. LJ Boone just threw in $100. Thank you, LJ. That's amazing.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Awesome, LJ. Thank you so much. It's that easy. And this is a 501c3. This is legit, like as legit as you can get for supplying aid. I'm super happy to have the ability to be able to help the 14th via Paige.
Yeah, it's been so that I've worked with several different nonprofits, both in Ukraine and the US. Well, some of them are technically like they're 501c3s, but the people have all been primarily in Ukraine, running aid and stuff. This particular one, Ukraine Frontline, has been incredible. Like I'm good friends with I was acquaintances with one of the women, but now over time, when you're doing shit like this, you become close with people pretty easily. So, they've been really helpful because for me, trying to manage, the primary thing being able to give people, having the opportunity to use the 501c3 and write off the, tax deductible donations. Also, gives a little bit more credibility. I know a lot of I've been fortunate enough to build some of that up through social media and have donors that donate on a regular basis or even first time, but because of that, but just having that little extra layer of credibility is also nice. But it's been so good to have like a team helping with that. One, I don't want to be touching money if I don't have to. And then two, just with that, it's a lot to keep up on, and because I'm also dealing with I don't just fundraise, I'm dealing with the sometimes the purchase, the transferring of money to Ukrainians and, the logistics in a lot of cases. So having the front end side, if I can help get people to send the money, but cut that step out for myself, that saves me a lot of time and gives me the ability to do a lot of other stuff. So I'm really grateful to them, and they've been fantastic, and they do a lot of work too. They've got other people, and they do all sorts of stuff. So I can't sing their praises enough. I've been really, really grateful for them. So. Yeah,
Ukraine Frontline Inc. is now, I think they are the sponsor for Texas right now on a different fundraiser through C4U, through the group that I've been fundraising vehicles through the 50 states thing, which is really cool too.
Yeah, they were doing a lot more. I believe this is a couple years ago, but they were doing a lot more like larger scale stuff. And the gal that I'm friends with, she and a couple of the other people wanted to do more like smaller Ukrainian units, basically. And I was like, I'm your girl. I got plenty of them. Like, let's go. So, they have helped cover and close fundraisers before. It's a little harder now, like I said, for all of us, because they're also having a harder time collecting funds. But they've also, even in that sense, helped cover some time sensitive collections, and stuff like that. So that's been another really nice thing to have. And we all kind of try to do that. There have been times we meaning, I know other groups do this, but like the people that I primarily work with, we all try to cover each other, whether it's with money or supplies. Sometimes we can work out kind of trades, essentially, which is is how a lot of the volunteer groups and organizations in Ukraine work, because they have to. They don't necessarily have they can't get the money. So, but if they can have like services or make things and things like that, and then trade and make sure that all everybody's covered. So they work like that as well.
All right, it kind of balances out in the long run, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
that's good to hear.
I did look up the Bushmaster thing, and I see the definition now. Honestly, I've seen so much equipment over there, I couldn't tell you. The only time that I honestly saw something and I was like, I know exactly what that is, was when I was standing, I think we were 10 or 12 miles outside of Avdiivka last year, and I was standing there with this group of my snipers from the 47th, and we had a pretty quick meet. Well, we were there for maybe half an hour, but exchanging stuff, and they were signing some flags and all this stuff when we were visiting, and I was giving them some little gifts and stuff like that too. I like to bring over, just like for morale and stuff. And we're standing there. I'm standing there. Natasha's over there talking to the commander, and then I'm standing there with these three snipers, and this Bradley was on the back of a truck, like being like brought in to be used or whatever. And This is one of my favorite favorite moments, and I saw them again this year, and we laughed about it. But we saw it like rolling up, and I saw it at the same time as them, and all three of them looked at me, and I looked at them. And we're like, Bradley, and then we're on the side of this road, and there's still there's shit blowing up, not right where we were, but there's explosions and smoke and stuff. But we're all of a sudden we're jumping and woo, USA! It was so silly, but it was a very very real human moment, of just I don't know. So that was the only time that I've really seen something and known exactly what it was, to be honest.
It's kind of like that one of the episodes of Star Wars where you have all the Empire Star Destroyers, and then the whole fleet of rebels comes. It's all the different ship and different hodgepodge fighting the evil Empire.
Yeah, and there's been I mean, depending on where you are in the country, there's tons. I mean, depending on where you are, you'll see it coming in, going out. Well, usually coming in, but and I saw quite a bit of new stuff coming in last year because it was right around. They were waiting to send equipment. There had been delays with some of that heavier stuff coming in, but the week after that, the White House gave permission, but I think some of it had maybe already been trickling in because I was seeing quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, I've seen all sorts of stuff, and I don't know what it is. I mean, I could tell you, I could describe it's towable artillery, or it's a very basic stuff, but
that's probably a lot more than some people can do. I mean, to be honest.
Yeah, well, and I think I've also learned the names of the basic names of some of them, just so I can just stick with that. And I've written them down too. There was one, especially, so they all, just like the Bradley thing, they all being Ukrainian soldiers, especially because a lot of them haven't met an American before, and so it's exciting for them and interesting and stuff, and which is, it's not me. Excuse me, it could be any of us, but that's cool. And so then they want to show me all the American stuff, which I love too, because it's adorable, because they get so excited about it. So look at these bullets, it says 50 cal rounds, and it's US DOD and stuff like that. And or this wire is from the US. There's just so there have been some bigger weapons that I've written down, is they're right there in that tree line is an American blah blah blah, and I'm like, cool. So I write it down because I don't know what it actually is, but yeah. So I've written it down, but I just don't know off the top of my head.
Got it. Who is it? Liam Wakefield says that a Bushmaster is also on top of a Bradley.
Yeah, I was just reading that.
Yeah. Interesting. Let me check if we got any more donations real quick. I'm plugging it.
Thank you, Mick.
Where are we? Oh, supporters. Here we go. We got, holy cow, Jason just threw in 200. Random Michigan guy that believes in Ukraine. Thank you. Mitch, 55 from Mitch. Guys, thank you so much. This is huge.
Thank you. That's awesome.
355. All right, guys. We're absolutely killing it.
That's great. Thank you very much.
So right now, the 14th, they're asking for EcoFlows, medical supplies, and food, yeah?
Yes. Sorry, I'm just going through the commentary. Yes.
So how much conversation have you had with the staff sergeant about it?
We go back. I've talked to him. So we had initially, for anyone who doesn't know, Chungus reached out to me for some help on a fundraiser. This is the beginning of mid 2024, probably.
Yeah.
And I honestly didn't, because at that point I was still doing I didn't have the capacity to help anybody else with fundraisers, and because I didn't have the capacity to do anything else on top of what I was already doing, including advocacy, because I go to DC and stuff like that too for government advocacy. And so But your story and everything, like I just felt it, and so that's how we got connected. And then
I cry good. I cry really good.
So then I stayed in touch with that senior sergeant, and he reached out to me again like a month or two, or a couple of months later. I got some, I don't know, we've done stuff here and there, and
Like
a couple of times I know,
and stuff.
yeah, some of the times I've reached out to you because it's like at times where I've had like a lot, and I've been, I need a little help to like, hey, if you've got time or whatever. So yeah, so I know we've sent like generators, some
Curvature
food and
saws,
medicine.
there was tools.
Yeah.
They wanted power tools
saws,
too.
nails, hammers, things like that for trenches, for foxholes and stuff. And then when I was in Ukraine this last time, we were doing drones. So I think we ended up doing like 6 drones for them, maybe somewhere around there. I'd have to look back, but so, and then have done, other, but yeah, generally like generators and, but it's one of those, they need everything just like all the groups. So, and it used to be, it was nice because it used to be that I could occasionally reach out to guys and be like, hey, how are you doing on this? Or like, I've got a little bit extra or whatever, and like, how can I help thing, which unfortunately I can't, we're not at that point anymore. So I really can't go above and beyond, but yeah, so we stayed in touch. And so yeah, then he and I found out, well, okay, so I was actually, this is fun. So what in Ukraine this year, we were in a hospital in Dnipro visiting one of our guys who was injured, which that was an incredible story. I might actually pull that up and read that on here in a little bit, because it was pretty impactful. So we were in the hospital visiting him, and I'm messaging with the senior sergeant, and I said something. Anyway, we figured out that we had the same birthday, and I was in Ukraine for my birthday this year. So it was just like a fun, it's nice to have, a lot of times it's like just business, we got to go back and forth and we're messaging or whatever. So we were like chatting and stuff, and like, it was just like a fun, like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So then I kind of did like, on our birthday, did a little birthday fundraiser like for him and stuff like that for drones. So it was just really just a fun kind of thing to figure out. And he sent me some videos from like the prior year of his birthday where his guys surprised him with like a cake and stuff, and they're out in the woods basically. But you got to have that human side of that, to remind you why we're doing all of this. So it was nice.
Yeah, I think that's really important too. That's why I like to have like little interview streams, like, not just with, people who support Ukraine, but I like doing interviews with people who are out there, like even in the front line in Portland, like this dude's out there filming stuff, and I pull him on just to get to know who he is as a person. Just kind of, see, so it shows the humanitarian side of it too, like the human side, the human aspect behind all the Shiba Inu posts on X and whatever else, to show that we're all human here too. You initially went to Ukraine. I don't know if a lot of people know this. You were Peace Corps, correct?
Yeah, I joined the Peace Corps after college, and so I lived there. And I didn't have any. They asked me where I wanted to go. They asked if you have a preference, so I said Fiji, which the Peace Corps is in Fiji, but it was like, I kind of joke with them, like, it's not the tourist side of Fiji, it's like the malaria side of Fiji. So like, it wouldn't have been. It's not like I would have been there, But I was assigned to or offered to go to Ukraine and teach English as a foreign language. So I did that for almost 2.5 years, and so that's I'm not Ukrainian at all. I have 0 Ukrainian blood in me. I know that because I have had my blood tested. Not for that, but I was interested in that. So yeah, just that's how much of an impact the people had on me, and how close I became with people just in that time. So I went back to visit 2019, and then and was actually planning to bring my like Ukrainian mom. She was just like my mom's age and just one of my closest friends, and really took me under her wing and took care of me and everything, and made sure, she's a wonderful woman. And I was planning to bring her over for a month or two in the summer of 2022. She actually even had her interview set up. Man, I forget about this. That makes me really sad. She had her interview set up to get her visa to come over to visit, and then the war started and everything, of course, went on hold. So that really sucked. And so instead of bringing her over, and she's a teacher, so she makes like $300 a month. So that wouldn't have been a possibility for her. She'd never even been on a plane, or I think out of the country. She'd never been on a plane, but instead of paying for a ticket and stuff, I ended up sending money to help her family and make sure that they had everything they need, because I didn't know at that point in the beginning. I was like, are you gonna leave, like what's happening? And then we ended up, that's how I got into a lot of we had our village, the village where I lived and where she lives has had over 1,000 internally displaced refugees there, registered there at points in time. So we did a lot of that, helping a lot of the people that were in our village because they'd show up from the east with nothing, like the clothes on their backs, literally. So we were doing it. We've helped build a community center there. All sorts of stuff. Are
there still a lot of places in evacuation shelters, or is it overflowed there, or is there a lot of need for housing still?
In our village, a lot of the people had either returned home or had resettled, either there or in nearby towns, or had left the country. Eventually, like some of them were there temporarily and then ended up leaving, or some of them, whatever. The Russian line has advanced, and there's a lot of fear of it continuing to, not just the guys on the ground, but because of the drones, just the threat level is so much higher in a lot of the close towns. And sorry, I was looking at one of the comments. So we're actually getting they're getting another influx of refugees in a lot of the towns along the river, like in that area. So, which is tough because of obvious reasons, but also because a lot of the people who have been helping, so for example, I started helping only with civilian aid, not because I chose that. That's just what we were doing. And for the first year and a half, that's all I did was civilian aid. Everything from, we were supplying food to, like, during when Kherson was totally occupied, there was a Kherson State University had 150 students and staff stuck there, and that was when anybody who was trying to escape Kherson was shot dead in the streets, entire families and so on. So they were stuck there, and so we helped get them money and food to survive, and some and they also helped some like retirees and older people that they knew nearby. But so we'd make buy just like kilos and kilos and kilos of vegetables, and then we'd get vegetable oil and other grains and things like that, and make little. I mean, I wasn't physically doing this, obviously. These are the ladies in Kherson we put together these like meal bags, meal kits and stuff. So and then there was like, there's so I have a lot of this, like, it's written down. There's just been so many. It's crazy even thinking back to the beginning.
Every time I think of Kherson, I just get fucking pissed off. I get I can't do nothing about it other than donate, and help. Like, it's medieval. It's fucking medieval. And then I heard, I was scrolling the other day, and they showed there was a little footage of one of the occupied areas in the Donetsk region under occupation, and a truck full of water came, and the people just started cheering and screaming for water. Like, it was like something you would hear out of a movie. People like chanting water, water. And I'm like, oh my god, dude, I can't wrap around.
That's one thing that I learned about there are a lot of homes, especially in villages, that use wells. I didn't know how wells worked. So apparently there's well systems. So even if you have a well, like, it's not just water in the ground. Like, I honestly just didn't know. And like, but so the well systems are down. So like, yeah, there's a lot of areas that just don't have any access to water. That's one thing we've brought water to some of our guys before. Fresh water, like big jugs of, like, there's places that you can go and they, like, you bring like the big, like the ones you have in like an office building or whatever. And so we get those filled up and bring them to them. But, so anyway, so the civilian aid thing. So that's what we did for the whole first year. And that was everything early on. Like, the pharmacies didn't have any, because, one, some people were panicking, but also just as things were being purchased, there weren't any shipments coming in. So right. Pharmacies were empty. And so people weren't able to get like really important life-saving medications. So that was one thing that I had helped with early on, like sourcing medicines and finding medicines all over, which is wild to think about. But so it was all civilian aid early on. We were doing like war orphan surgeries and stuff like that. I'm laughing because that's one of, like, what I was saying, not laughing, but just like, it's one of those things that I say out loud that just, it's surreal. Right. It's hard to believe. And you don't want to have to think about that. But anyway, so then after that, like, year and a half, and I went to the front for the first time in 2023 and saw what, and the needs, while this is happening, the requests and the needs from the civilians, because a lot of them are resettling or going home or leaving, the requests had slowed. So as that's happening, then going to the front and seeing what they needed, and as far as humanitarian supplies and everything, that kind of, I shifted and that's when Natasha and I really started working together, because she has a lot of contacts with the military and had already been helping, on some level. And then, so that's kind of how we started getting into that. And then it got to the point where we had so many requests, and that's the thing about doing a good job, is that other guys hear about it, and so then, and it gets to the point where, there's different, so we try to help as many people as possible. I mean, Natasha had a group of guys show up to her house from Avdiivka asking for help. And like, it's, like, she doesn't have, she obviously, because she puts everything that she can of her own into it. She can't help everybody, but tries to. So it's just, it's a tough position to be in. And I don't know how to say this. I don't want to say grateful, but like, I recognize that she has to deal, she and I work really well together. We both have like our roles with this, like what we do and stuff like that. We worked really well together as far as that goes. But warehouses, but she has to deal with, like, not only living in a war zone, but she's the one that's getting she has to deal with the requests directly. Right. Like, I get them directly, but it honestly helps me a little bit, because there have been groups that have reached out to me, and it kind of works, because like, she can blame delays in funding on me, and I can blame not being able to directly help on, not blame, but it's like, that's not her, the funding part and collecting, like, that's not her side of it. So we can kind of, if somebody reaches out to me or whatever, and like, because I want to help everybody, obviously, but I can't. So I kind of have to go, if please go through Natasha and her organization and stuff. So that's just is what it is. But
I think that's part of the unseen thing that people really don't feel, is the impact it has on the people who are actually fundraising. To have to tell somebody no, it's absolutely just the most gut-wrenching, terrible feeling in the world. Or you gotta wait, or I can't right now. I've had to do that with Natasha a couple times. Not no, but just, we've had to, because I obviously have a better pulse on like how fundraising is going, or like during the holidays and things like those, certain times a year that there's not as much coming in, and and sometimes, as much as I don't like to say it, I also know that like, there have been some times where if I have to
if I make the decision, it's off of her. So that way she doesn't have to. She's not the one doing it, you know? And so that alleviates a little bit of that for her, but at the same time, I trust her every bit, you know, like I trust her with my own life and everything. So I know I try to rely on her choices as much because she is there and she is seeing it. She is, you know, so we and that's how we that's how or why we work so well together, because of that kind of balance between the two of us.
Oh, it sounds like you two navigate it really well together.
Yeah, which is crazy because, like, I don't know, we met each other in person. I've been working with her group because I know through a Ukrainian woman here. I know one of her family members was the guy that co-founded that organization, and I'd known him for a while and had been helping their group with a lot of civilian stuff. But that's right around the time they started switching a little bit to the front line. And when we first met, it was like we just clicked, and we're like, you know, you just like click with people, and now I just love her so much. And like we've had fun times. We've spent a lot of time together because we've been, you know, driving for hours upon hours, and I'm with her the whole time, and I'm over there and stuff. But like, you know, I sat next to her when she's found out that someone she loves was killed, you know, and vice versa. So, you know, we've stood over the graves, that we've visited graves of people that we both know. And so it's, you know, when you have those moments and share, it's a very unique experience, I guess. And so, yeah, that's definitely something, that it doesn't matter. You're, you know, it's a cross-cultural experience. It doesn't matter where you're from or who you are. Going through those types of things is, brings people together. Tragedy, I mean, I guess that's a silver lining of tragedy. I don't know, like the drive gives you more drive and brings you together with other people. So,
you know, it's so true too. And like, I don't know, like lately I have felt indestructible. Like summertime was hella rough for me. Like after like August, September, it was just rough, like mentally rough for me. But I came out of that this winter. I feel strong. I feel like fundraising. It's like let's do this. Speaking of which, let's check in on it real quick. Looks like breaking kind. Gene threw in $100 donation. Let's see where else. Oh, I gotta open it up here. Gene with a huge $100 donation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, that's awesome.
Hit the support button. We got for Ukraine via Renegade Chungus, Slava Ukraini from Gene, and Dollar Straws throws in a 10. Great work, much love from Idaho. Earlier we had Mitch with the 55, and then we had Jason with the 200. Random mission guy that believes in Ukraine. LJ Boone threw in $100 earlier. UA with a couple smiley sunglasses and a heart. Steve Sane for the 14th from a Yellow Barrel Chungus supporter. So the yellow barrel.
Yeah, I'm supposed to ask her about that.
Okay, the yellow barrel last night. I'm playing my video. I'm playing DayZ, a zombie apocalypse survival game based in Chinaris, this fictional sort of Ukrainian, Eastern Ukraine, Russian, Polish landscape, and all the signs are in Russian, right? It's all Cyrillic. He's like, I'll throw in $20 if you go find that barrel you lost the other day in the woods. And you're talking it takes 2.5 hours running to get across this map each direction. And I stuck a barrel in a tree in the middle of freaking nowhere on this video game. I'm like, bet I'll go find it right now for $20, $20 donation. So I'm running through the woods on this game, trying not to get killed by zombies and other players. I almost give up. I'm like, this barrel's gone. This is bullshit. And then on the way out, I stumbled on it. Got that $20 yesterday. So that's the yellow barrel story.
Never give up.
On my yeah. I almost gave. I gave up like mentally, and then I just like, oh, there it is. But very
That's
cool.
funny.
Yeah, very cool. Thanks for throwing in that. Rhino Raider also helped out yesterday on the gaming channel. So we pulled $40 off of a video game stream last night, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Amazing to me that we were able to do that.
Mr. Squiggle asked if I have my own YouTube channel. I do. I don't stream, but I have several videos. I did quite a few TV interviews for the first like 2 years, locally. Locally. Yeah, I did some like online larger. Anyway, so I did a bunch of TV interviews. So they're mostly all on there, and then some videos that I've put together myself, of like from trips to Ukraine, just some of the imagery and stuff on there. So, and that's Paige in Kansas. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, all of my socials are that. I'd say, unfortunately, I'm most active on Twitter, but I'm on all Instagram, Blue Sky. I don't really post on Threads. That's a hellhole now. Facebook, but yeah. So, Paige at Paige Paige in Kansas Kansas. So Paige in Kansas.
Guys, I have her X account pinned in the description of the video as well. I can bring it up here if I'm smart and clever and put it into the chat if you want to follow on X as well. Let me press some buttons here and get smart. I tried to put your Blue Sky on there too. I was having problems with the link just because I don't know. One of those days.
One of the interviews that's on there, I just remember this, was with a local station here in Kansas City. While I was in Ukraine, and I was getting ready to do the interview, and I was at Natasha's house in the corridor where her computer is, and as I'm like getting ready to talk to this reporter who I'd spoken with before, I hear a sound that was unfamiliar, and it was very loud and very fast and getting close to us. And I stood up and I thought, maybe this is it, because it sounded like I didn't know what the hell it was, and it's like really loud. Well, then Natasha comes right, because she knew I hadn't been in that area before, and she knew that I had not heard this sound before. So she comes running in the corridor, and she's like, it's a jet. And I was like, whose jet? Okay, is it ours? So it turns out it was a couple of Ukrainian jets that were low and fast going to the front, because they're speedy. And we ended up, when we were eating dinner outside a little bit later, we saw them higher up and slower coming back. So, but it was a funny kind of, I don't know. But so then I had to get on and do this interview. So I was still all like pumped up on adrenaline, but we had to redo the whole thing anyway, because it was the signal was bad. So, but it was a really, I was trying to get all focused and be serious and all that. And then I nearly pooped and peed myself. Maybe, I don't know. It was intense.
I'm pretty sure you almost got in a car wreck yesterday talking to me too.
Oh my God, that car kept slamming on its brakes.
Literally, you were talking to me, I heard.
Yeah,
like,
that was my tires. Yeah.
Yeah. We were just having a casual conversation about how she is used to voice texting and was going to throw in a couple commas, ... And then I hear squealing brakes. And I'm like, oh my God, she almost got killed by a drone talking to me before. Now she's going to get in a car wreck talking to me again. All right, let's check the donation one more time too.
Yeah, and thank you, Steve. I'm trying to read and pay attention, so I'm sorry if I miss any of these, but yeah, I appreciate that.
If you want to take some from the chat and engage with the chat a little bit, that'd be great. I'll check on the fundraiser here.
Well, mostly just asking about my YouTube and stuff. RP, that's awesome. Thank you for doing that. Sponsoring refugees, for if you guys didn't see it, but yeah, I had an account on Reddit and was an approved fundraiser in the Ukraine subreddit, but I was trying to mess around with formatting on a post, and it like pinged me as a a bot or something or whatever, so it banned me and I couldn't get back in. So I have to create another one so I can, because I could every once in a while. There were some Redditors that were really great about contributing. So
we just had another large donation as well. Let me cut you off there. Danger Noodler Snack made a $150 donation. I believe in Ukraine and Paige. Thanks for everything you do.
Is that my favorite snack?
Snack.
I wonder if it is. I hope so. I love it.
So that puts
if not, I love all snacks. So thank you, Grunge Thing. Appreciate it. And then LJ said, "Woman, aren't you tired?" And the answer is yes.
Okay. Well, we're gonna wrap it up here shortly. Looks like we're around $615 so far. So.
Oh, I meant like overall. I'm good right now.
Yeah, you're going somewhere else after this too. You're not done yet, are you?
Yeah. So I'm meeting up with a fella, a local guy here who's a fella who, like an actual NAPO fella, who came to one of the events that nonprofit that I'm on the board for organized a couple years ago, and he has helped me with mailing some things out and just other things. So we're just getting together to trade out a couple of things, and I have a couple of items for him, and just to catch up on everything too. So meeting up to do that, which I do have a couple of things to show you here in just a second.
Let's see it.
There's a war going on here. Women will sleep when we're dead. That's right.
Right? God, words to live by. I don't sleep anymore. I'm like in survival sleep. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting used to it. That's the great thing. I've never felt more mentally strong as I do right now in my life, which is amazing.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. I too, I had a bit of a challenging couple of months. I always get as they say, even baddies get the saddies. And I usually get a little bit down after I come back for, I think, one, because I wish I could help more, two, because I saw a lot of sad shit, but also my theory, and this comes from talking to other volunteers and American veterans. My theory is that when you're in that environment, you're getting so many different chemicals, like intense, exciting kind of like some chemicals, there's an overlap between fear and excitement, and then all of a sudden when you stop that, like and I'm talking short periods of time, like, versus like actual, like guys that are out have deployed or whatever, but and this isn't just war, but like, even jobs that thank you. Yes, it is. Sorry, I just saw something different pop up, so I got distracted.
No worries.
Yes, in Kansas is my YouTube and my Twitter and my Instagram and Blue Sky. So I think that's part of it too. I think that you get so much of these chemicals in your brain, and then you stop getting them all of a sudden. And I think that might have a little bit to do with that.
Causes almost a dependency, yeah?
Yeah, well, just like, I don't know. Especially when you add all the other things on top of it, the sadness and all that stuff. Yeah, adrenaline, dopamine, serotonin, all that stuff.
There's her YouTube channel as well. I'll put it into the description. Thank you for the $2 chat on that one. You know they exist. Thumbs up there.
I don't know how to say we. I'm just gonna say we said I'm a brave girl. Thank you.
That's Rowan, by the way.
Hi, buddy. So it's funny that you say, not funny that you say that, but I was actually just gonna say when I mentioned the story about being outside of Chat CVR and looking at Bakhmut, right? Well, that was with a medevac team, and one of the guys, they're both like big dudes, and one of the guys had been a civilian surgeon for like 20 years, and these guys like big tough guys, whatever, and they're like, they were medevacing from during like the worst battles in Bakhmut, and still were in Chesapeake for a long time. And one of those guys like told me at the end that I was brave, and I was like, and I kind of had this moment. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, and I almost like, I know he was genuine, but I was like, stop it. It was such a funny. It was kind of funny to me because I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, look at you, like it's just, I don't know. Those guys, I just love them.
I don't think bravery is meant to be recognized by the individual that's being brave. Honestly, if I'm being truthful about that. Looks like we got another $20 donation from Cypher. Thank you, Cypher. Let's go, people. Paige needs the help. Absolutely. Let's go. I'm gonna throw it in the chat one more time there too.
All right, I'm getting a couple things to show you guys.
Oh, cool. Let me see if I can find. Oh man, I've got so many little. Here we go. Grab the header.
For those who haven't seen it, here's one. I have over the last few years. I'm not quiet about my Russophobia, and that light's not. And I don't mean my boobs. I mean those two, but so I'm not very popular with the enemy, with anybody that is a Putin sympathizer or Russian. So I've earned a lot of nicknames, everything from can I swear on here?
Yeah.
Okay. Fat neo-Nazi loving bitch, war whore, cupcake ankles, little meatball was one of my favorites. Little meatball. Cute. So the one that I embraced the most, and I ended up making badges, and I designed these. I wanted to bring something to help with morale for with the soldiers, right? And so I was like, what's something I could bring that's like, it's not super expensive, it's not difficult to pack or whatever, that they'll appreciate. Well, because they give patches as tokens of appreciation, I decided to make patches. So, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but this way. So this says, I designed the gal, and it's kind of based off of a couple of my tattoos, but it says murder hardcore, and then at the bottom it says till death do us part. And there's a couple different versions. I have shirts that I made too, just for myself to wear when I went over, but that's a make love and war. And then I can't remember what the other one says. So I made these, and I had the version of the girl was chosen by my former student, who was a Ukrainian soldier, and then the wording was chosen by some foreign fighters because it's easier to murder core and all the it's a little bit harder if it's English isn't your first language. Although one of the foreign fighters took the images, crossed the words out, and wrote tits out on it and sent it back. And then all the guys in the chat were like, yeah, I vote for that one. So so I kind of actually want to make one of those too. But
that's the greatest nickname ever. Murder horrorcore right there. Yeah.
So I say I'm the commander of the war whore regiment of the murder brigade. It's just funny. But my favorite part giving these to the guys was having Natasha explain but they loved it, and like a couple of them were like really excited about it, and like I got pictures of, even before I was back home, was some of the guys were back at the front and sending pictures of it, and it was just even if it gave them a smile once, like it was worth it and everything. So I loved that. Got a couple more. I have a shitload of patches, but like this is it says Slonik, and which is an elephant. So this is he's from the 35th Marine Brigade. And that's the Marine group patch, I think. Let me see.
Is that the one with the snipers, or is that what?
No, this is Marine Corps.
Okay.
No, the 47th is my sniper group.
Got you.
So, and I had received a certificate from the 35th before, and then I was awarded an additional thing from them, which I didn't. It had already been given to Natasha, but I ended up getting to meet Slonik in person because we were helping repair some trucks. So I got to meet him in person too. But then when we got back to Natasha's, she got to present this to me, which is a medal that was yeah, I mean, it's the cool, like I love, like, I obviously I don't do any of this shit for whatever, but I'm grateful for any sort of, you know, token of appreciation or recognition, of course.
You got a medal.
Like, that's so cool.
You got a fucking medal.
Yeah, and it says like let's see, volunteer of Ukraine, it's like, I think it's like a calling of the soul, basically. And then let me get this little thing out here, and then it comes with this little like like booklet thingy, and then on the inside it's got my name, and then it's notarized, and then it also has, there's like a whole, like an official document or something. You know, Ukraine is very big on the like official documents and stuff, so I have like another document like certifying it or whatever. So
that's just amazing.
really cool, and a really cool honor and everything. And yeah, just so I told them that I was going to wear it every single day at home so my sons never forget how cool I am, but I'm wait till they're a little older, and then I will.
Between that and the murder whore patch, they could be like, who the hell is my mom?
Yeah. Well, they know them. They know their mommy's a badass.
That's a badass. Yeah, it's pretty badass combo.
I remind them. They're still little, but yeah. And then I some of the, this is yeah, the 47th guys.
Oh, cool.
The sniper group, which they're actually with I think they might still be called. So there's been like reorganization of the military and stuff. So like some of them, so Natasha and I, because we know who we're talking about primarily, like the guys now, we still refer to them as their same numbers. So some of them, I can't remember if they have been assigned different numbers, but it's the same group of dudes. And the 47th, these guys were actually doing a rotation down at the Black Sea because they'd been in Avdiivka. And they were doing a rotation down to the Black Sea when I was there this year. And which I had been down to the Black Sea twice when I lived there. Went down with a couple of Ukrainian friends from my village for a few days. We were at a beach in the Kherson area. And then I went to Odessa with another Peace Corps volunteer once. But we went down and stayed the night with in this apartment that they had in Odessa, and then went out to their position and where they're doing security. And it was like the most beautiful day, and it's a private, it's not private, well now it is, but civilians can't be out on the beach because like we walk up and there's like barbed wire and mine, like warning, what mines like all over the place, which is a little I've seen that plenty at the front, but it's like weird to see it not there, and especially in like such a beautiful area that's, I don't know. But we got to spend, like, we were there for like 4 hours with them, and it was really great because Natasha doesn't, like I was saying, Natasha lives in this. She doesn't get a break from anything, you know? So like even just those few hours of her, like, and they brought us down to the water, and we got to, like, one of the volunteers that we brought with us, the two of them jumped in and swam, like, just, you know, swam a little bit, but stood in the water, and because there's nobody there, there's no ships or whatever, you know, like, but that was eerie because, you know, like the Russian Navy's like there, but you just can't see them, you know. But there's like no like cargo ships or whatever coming in there, or people dirtying the water. So the water was like crystal clear. It was cold, but it was crystal clear. It was beautiful. And then there were thousands upon thousands of seashells because there's nobody there picking them up. So just, I've never seen so many. And so I'm not even a seashell person, but I did pick some up for Olya, my like Ukrainian mom, because she puts them in her flower pots or whatever. So I brought some for her and then a couple for my sons. And then I was like, oh, it's, you know, I'm not a seashell person, but knowing that I collected these from the beach, you know, the Black Sea, like when I wasn't sure I'd ever be able to see the Black Sea again before that. because we don't know what's going to happen. So that was just a really incredible experience. And then like they had a 4-wheeler that they used to patrol, and we took us on a ride on the 4-wheeler, and we're like flying down the beach, and I like look over and there's like just buildings and stuff, and I look over and then like there's a giant like air defense like artillery thing or whatever, and the guys just stand there and they're in full uniform, and I was like, well, I'm with one of their guys, so I was like, well, this is something different for them. So I went full American, and I was like waving and smiling. I'm like,
howdy, y'all.
Yeah. So yeah. And then we ended up at the very end. When he turned around, I saw something like in this area, kind of not far out, but sticking out of the water, far, but not far out of the middle of the water. And when we went back, I asked him about it because he couldn't hear me when we were on the 4-wheeler. And it turns out it was part of wreckage from a Nazi warship.
Holy cow.
Yeah, which I was like, what? And then I made a big deal of which like their grandparents were victims in World War II, and like their villages and towns were occupied by Nazis and by the Red Army. But so they don't get they were not quite as enthusiastic about it. But it was like just that whole day and seeing all that stuff, and again, it was like 4 hours, but it was just like it was a really beautiful experience. And Natasha I told the guys, I was like, thank you for right to bring the beach party to the Black Sea, right? I love that. It was just really good, and I told them like, hey, thank you for this. Like, she really needed a little bit of time to relax and feel safe, and like. Only one time where they like, there's drones coming our way, and then they're like, oh, they switched directions. So there was like only once that there was any threat, I guess. So that was just a really, really incredible. So anyway, one of my new tattoos has to do with that.
What'd you get?
Steve asked if I had a chance to catch up with Canty. I'm not sure who you're referring to, and I apologize.
Canty Ludin, he's one of so we did a few Car for Ukraine vehicles together. He's in Kyiv currently, I believe, somewhere.
Oh, okay.
He's somewhere in Ukraine right now. He went there back in, I believe you came back right when he was leaving, I believe, around the same time he transitioned back. So they would have missed each other there.
And I went through Kyiv last year because I was meeting up with some one my former student who's a soldier, and then a couple of foreign fighters. Honestly, like, I'm glad I saw them and everything, but it took a lot of time out of the trip that could have been more productive. So I generally don't go to the capital because there's just there's not enough time because we're in this year. I saw even Ukrainians were laughing. They're like, you've seen more of the country than I have now. And it was more than I'd ever seen, because we went, so we started, I go to Poland, from Poland. We usually stay a night in Lviv just because getting there and the border crossing and everything. No, it's okay, Steve. I want to make sure I wasn't like blanking out on somebody. So stay the night there, and then we went up to Sarny, which is not far from the Belarusian border. It's north of Rivne, which is in the west. So we were not far from the Belarusian border, and then we went down through Bucha. We were supposed to meet my former student. Met him in Bucha, and then drove from there all in the same night down to the village where I lived, which is right in central Ukraine near Cherkasy. And then we're there for like a day and a half. Then we went to a town near Dnipro where Natasha lives. And then from there, we traveled down to Odessa when we went back to her place. Then we went to Zaporizhia a couple times, Dnipro a couple times, Zaporizhia once maybe, Dnipro a couple times. We went to Kharkiv, stayed the night there. That was June 6th, which was at least at that point, the large found out was the largest attack on that city. They initiated the largest attack on that city since the full scale. And I actually have a video. I posted a video because I stood at the window recording it, because honestly, when you're on the 9th floor of an apartment building, being at the window or 15 feet back in the corridor doesn't really make a difference.
Holy shit.
I was like, I'm just gonna do this. So I stood at the window, was listening for a while. The sirens were going off constantly all night. Well, finally decided to lay down for a bit, and about 4 a.m, a cob exploded, like one of the ones that like the pressure, it's not a huge fire explosion, but it like accordions cars, and they're loud as shit. It exploded, woke me up, so then I got up and stood out the window, and there was 1 or 2 more of those. There were 2 of those maybe total, and then a couple missiles, and then there were 10 to 15 maybe at least drones. And so just like stood there listening to it, and then the air defense and everything. And they did some damage. They struck a couple of things. What was weird about Kharkiv is that there was very little damage when we were driving through. And they were explaining to me that the mayor, I think the mayor, but is like, it's really important to him to rebuild as quickly as possible. I think that's probably a morale thing, because, I've been in plenty of towns that are not that close, because we were 15 to, I think, 17 miles from the Russian border. I've been to plenty of towns that are not that close that are just wrecked, and so it was just I was just kind of thrown off, because there just wasn't as much. I mean, there was definitely destruction. So like you can still see it, but like there's not as much as I would have expected, knowing everything that's gone on there. So then we went back, and then we ended up going up to Sumy. Which I kind of mentioned before, and then back. So yeah, so we were, and then made our way all the way back across. So I like I said, had been thermobaric. Thank you. It was a really long, exhausting trip, but I mean, we got a lot of work done. I think I raised like 30 grand while I was there, even with the fall off at the end toward the end of the trip. But it was definitely effective. I got to I try to document as much as possible for historical purposes, but for fundraising and then for advocacy. The most effective meetings I've had in DC with representatives have been putting down a picture of a real person and telling their story. Like Romashka, who, she runs the morgue for the soldiers, and like telling them about how she prepared her son's body and everything after he called her to make sure that she could find him. So she went and retrieved him by herself, and then prepped her son's body. And like having those stories and those images to print them out by 8 by 10s and lay them down on the table in front of them is really is the most, I've gotten the most human like reaction from them by doing stuff like that. So they'll definitely remember. They have a lot of meetings every day, but they'll definitely remember that one, so that's why that's also important too. And they want to everywhere. I never ask Ukrainians to take me anywhere. Honestly, I don't, because they're always wanting to take me places. And that goes, I mean, that's everything. Like, but because they want the stories to be told, especially if it's in an area that there haven't been, journalists or other volunteers for a long time or ever. They know these they either have very personal stories, or they have stories about the people who were there, who are no longer around to tell them. So, it's important to them to do that. So, I try to record as much of that as possible, to be able to share here or down the road when I write 87 books.
Right. Oh my God. No kidding. But taking a peek in, also looks like we got a few more donations. Steve Sane with another 20 for the Legends of the 14th from Chungus supporter. Thank you, Steve. I Jedi throwing in $100 donation. The mission is all that matters. Slava Ukraine. Thank you, iJedi. Guys, we are
thank you.
driving this tonight.
I was gonna say we might close this out.
My God, I mean, we're getting
Right.
we're at like 1295, 1275 this morning, I think.
That sounds right.
Something like that.
I haven't had a chance to look today, but I'll get an update.
I have to load more just to look at all of them today. 100,
That's great.
2, I gotta
Thank you,
count
guys.
255, 265, 365, 465, 515, 535, 555, 655. We did half
Just
of
on
the
the
Yeah.
That's great.
That's
I'm tearing up a little bit. That's really great.
well,
Thank
one,
you guys so
one
much.
of those is definitely yours. That's going to one of yours for sure. The 150. So
Oh,
we'll
it's-
probably around.
well, unless he's been here, I don't know. It's honestly, I got to get it all covered anyway, so it doesn't really, like it's.
We'll figure it out
At
in
the
the
end of
wash.
the day, it's like whether I count that 150 for the 14th or a different one, like it all needs to be as soon as possible. So,
Yeah.
Mr. Squiggle said, upload the stories to my YouTube. It's important for people to hear, especially for those who don't want to hear them. And I agree. I have no problem with making people feel uncomfortable and reminding them of, when I get back from Ukraine, sometimes people are like, how was it? And I'm like, horrible.
Yeah. Thanks.
But this year I was tired of saying that. So I said, it was a blast.
Yeah.
And they were like, ha.
I can't wait for you to tell me how you're gonna judge your apathy for the next 30-minute conversation of why you don't help. And,
Yeah. So, but yeah, so there's, I have, I would say more visual stories on there for now with, the trip photos and videos and stuff. But, and there's quite a few on Twitter, especially if you go to my highlights tab on Twitter, because that's usually fundraising or like bigger posts or whatever. But I don't know.
I think
Oh,
Mr.
wait,
Squiggle has a really good idea there, though. Throwing some of them on YouTube would probably be pretty cool.
Yeah, I just need to. That's one of those things. I don't mind like talking, and I do I've done lives on other stuff. Like I don't mind that. It's just a matter of sitting down and doing it.
Time.
And it's not even just the time. Like we're having like a fun conversation. Like an energetic, positive, motivating. Whereas like if I'm gonna get on and talk about some of those stories, like I gotta be in the right mindset, and it's hard to get yourself in that mindset sometimes because it's like, wow, I have to sit down and think about this horrible stuff sometimes. But I will. I know it's important.
All I have to do
do
is get in a 20-minute conversation with some of my family members that don't give a shit, and that's
There you
enough for
go.
me to post for the next 2 weeks terrible shit on my Facebook that's happening, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah. And honestly, I've written out so many of these and I have posted them before. So I really just need to pull them from social media and just, kind of like read through them and then kind of have a guideline and then tell that, so it's like I don't have to like rethink through the details and everything or like come up with an outline. It's like I kind of already have it. But yeah, I'm on Discord. I have a love-hate relationship with Discord. But...
I've noticed. You're there 1 minute, then you're not.
Yeah, well, and it's mostly hate, but I know. And the thing is, like with YouTube and all that, like I know I need to. I've learned a lot. I had some experience with social media marketing for my jobs and some training before, and then I have become an expert over the last couple of years because that's how that's how I've fundraised. And been seen the changes when Meta bought Instagram and Facebook and how that screwed us, and like when Elon's messed with stuff. So I know I need to, and there's just fewer people using Twitter anymore, especially pro-Ukrainian people. But
real
so I know
people
I
in
need
general. I mean, most of it's bots. It seems like.
Yeah. So I I posted a picture of myself the other day, and this picture was like a year old. Bye, Steve. Thank you.
Hey, Steve.
this picture is like a year old, and I've posted similar pictures to it, but it's a picture of me wearing my "Fuck Putin" shirt, and I'm pointing to it, and I wrote like this or the terrorists win, and then I said something in parentheses about the illegal invasion of Russia and Ukraine, and it got a lot of visibility thanks to the Russians and the botniks, because it got like 5,500 likes, but then it had like 800 comments. So they didn't ratio me those little, like whatever, they tried, but they were pissed and just went. I started scrolling through, and like sometimes some of them I'm like, because I'm human, I'm like, that's mean. But then I have, you know, I have pretty smart ass comments to come back to with them, but or to come back with, but I just kept scrolling, and I would respond to some of them just with smart ass things or whatever, or real information to push back against what they're saying. And I think I was scrolling and responding for like 2 hours, and I was like, all right, that's enough of this. I need to take a break.
I'm surprised
But,
Oksana didn't chime in on that one.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Oksana. So for those of you who don't know, Oksana is a Russian. She coincidentally looks a little bit like me.
A little bit, just a little.
But not close enough to where people haven't lost their minds thinking that it was an actual Russian. So, and this is kind of funny. Just not a coincidence that I happen to be wearing some of her. I borrowed her Avivas. Oksana. Okay, I can't talk in the. It's like fake third person. That's gonna make me confuse myself. Or first person. Anyway, Oksana is a character, and I have another buddy that has a YouTube channel, and I've done a couple of videos that I've done with him. We've reviewed Zelensky's show, Servant of the People, and then another time I think we mostly hung out and just talked about the movie, and then drank some vodka and stuff. But he and Oksana are going to be making some videos over Thanksgiving break. So I don't want to give anything away, mostly because we might change what we're doing. But it's it's going to be Oksana is in the U.S. So.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Looks like she's working the 6th floor tonight. Bring money or pickles.
Yeah. Bring money or pickles.
Where did you find the Nokia?
It's mine. That was my phone when I lived in Ukraine.
That's wild.
Yeah, that was my actual. Yes, I was being, but yes. Well, I'm not, but Oksana is. Yes. Listen, Oksana is a Russian woman. She is widow.
Yes.
She used to have a Russian husband, Igor, but he go to the war, and he go to the war in Ukraine, and he died, but not in battle. He just become very drunk, and he stumbled into his own minefield, and boom. And now Oksana no longer has husband. So, but yeah, I've done that voice for a long time, just because it's easy to do when you can speak Ukrainian and some Russian and whatever. And I just like doing accents. But I dressed up. I went for it last Halloween, and I went to a Halloween party at my neighbor's house. And one lady, like none of my neighbors knew it was me, even though all I was doing was wearing a wig and like a little bit of crappy makeup. But they didn't know it was me. And one lady kept giving me dirty looks, and I was like, yes.
Oh my God. I'm looking at this post from last year, November. I have cousin in Ukraine. I visited her in 2019. I still don't know what the fuck is this shit for drink, and you're pointing at a toilet.
Yeah. That's at my neighbor's house. Yeah.
Oh God.
I left and I went home and I made pilmeni, which are Russian dumplings, and I brought it over, and I was telling everybody I was telling everybody to try it, and I said they were made with mystery meat. We have new type of meat in Russia. I don't know where it come from, but we have much of it coming back. I think it's from abroad, maybe. So, so that's I did that. And then I didn't want to go to my family's Thanksgiving last year because Thanksgiving is like that, and so Oksana went in my place. 5 minutes after I was there, my mom thinks it's funny, but like 5 minutes after I was there, she's like, "Are you going to be in character all night?" And to which Oksana responded, "I don't know. I don't understand what you mean, character. Who is this?" And she didn't ask anymore because she knew that was going to happen.
You're irritating your dad.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have a MAGA dad, and I started talking about how much I love Trump. Well, she started talking about that because he's best friend with Putin. So, but my mom shut that down pretty quick. So, and I wasn't trying to ruin their Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's it'd be like that sometimes. I'm not going anywhere for this one either.
Yeah.
Maybe not Christmas either. I don't know. They want to come over here, fine. I'll cook them some wonderful food. Maybe we'll have halupsi or something. Not pelmeni though. I can't stand pelmeni.
Pelmeni makes me a lot.
I can't stand it. I like halupsi. Halupsi is probably my favorite.
Yeah, that is good.
Well, shoot.
Completes it. I wanted to do this last trip there. I introduced. I forgot about this. So I explained because some of them had seen, like the Ukrainians I was with, when I was in Ukraine this time, they had seen like quite a few people from my village at first were like, "What do you do? Like, what is this?" They weren't getting it. And then I introduced Oksana to my friends and the other volunteers in Ukraine this time, and I was like determined to do a Lada photo shoot, like have her lay on a Lada, which you won't like affect or hurt the hood or anything because they're basically like tanks. But we ended up, I was so exhausted by the end, and it was like one of the last things, and I was like, I don't have energy to not only to lie on and do a photo shoot on a Lada, but also be Oksana on a Lada. So I'll have to save that for next trip.
Oh, you know what? It would be amazing if you did a music video, like a rap song with Oksana with a Lada. Okay,
that's a good idea.
I might be able to write it for you. I'm just saying in the background, maybe we can do something like that. Got it.
I'm already getting ideas. I'll have her spit some bars.
But check the fundraiser, see if we got anything going here, guys. Anything more coming? Oh, last one was iJedi. Let me pin it one more time also in the chat, guys. If you guys want to donate, this is going to the 14th Mechanized Brigade through Paige. We're having a great discussion tonight about her last trip, having some fun as well. Keeping it light tonight. Light and heavy. A roller coaster ride, if you will. Some light stuff, some heavy stuff.
Roller coaster ride.
There it is.
Having family from Georgia, the accent is on point.
So you were hanging out with the 47th. You got to tell them that we adopted the candy bars for snipers.
Yeah.
For our channel slogan, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, they cracked up at that. They thought that was hilarious.
How was that? How was that dinner night? They were enjoying that?
Say that again?
How was that dinner night? They were enjoying hearing that?
Yes. That just reminded me, Sasha, one of the snipers, cooked us made soup for us that night. And I freaking love soup. So I was really excited anyway, but he made solyanka, and it was the best soup I've ever had in my life. I'm like, and I mean that. And I ate so much of it.
I've never had it.
I don't even remember what he put it. It's like basically sausage soup. And somebody's gonna get mad at me. Who knows? I have a recipe for it, but it's not. There's different, just like a lot of dishes there. Like there's different recipes for it, but his was like he had a couple other things. I wrote it down, but he had a couple other things that like weren't as common. But oh, it's so good. It has like 3 or 4 different kinds of meats in it.
Lewis Highsmith says with sour cream.
Always with sour cream. Everything is with sour cream.
Everything.
Or mayonnaise.
Really?
And I love both, so I'm fine with that. Oh yeah, like when you get a salad, unless you're like in the city in a touristy area, like salads are mayonnaise or like potato salad, macaroni salad, like mayonnaise salads. Maybe there's some that don't have mayonnaise. Like there's like a beet salad that's really good. That and there's a few that aren't, but like there are a lot of like Olivier. Like there's a lot of mayonnaise salads, and I love it, so it's great.
I would imagine the beet salad would have like a vinegar base, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's I can't remember, probably. There's a, what's the English word? Cabbage. Cabbage salad, like basically coleslaw and stuff too, that's just like tossed with oil and vinegar and stuff like that too. You need a big chunk of dried fish and vodka.
Vodka?
Yeah. So I don't eat fish. Well, I take that back. I haven't eaten fish in like 20 years, except for when I lived in Ukraine and I was very poor. And I was teaching in school, and we're volunteers, so we have a living stipend, but it's like to live at the level of the locals. And so I would eat school lunch, and but they would feed me like the lunch of like a child, so like I had to eat it no matter what, and I wouldn't have left it anyway. But and sometimes there'd just be like a chunk of fish, and I mean like still with some bones and scales. And for somebody that doesn't eat anything that lives in water, really, it was tough. So I would basically like peel the scales off and pull the bones off, and then I would just like bury it in a bite of potatoes and take it like a giant pill.
Do you know what type of fish it was?
No
clue.
No, but it was from the Dnipro River, most likely, which is downstream from Chernobyl, which the Peace Corps said, be careful about eating fish from there. But I didn't eat very much of it. So
maybe carp? It's got to be something like a carp or something.
I have no idea. It was a chunk like that. So I don't know.
How big were the scales?
I don't remember this. I don't know if I ever took a picture of it, actually.
Just a chunk of fish.
No, I couldn't have taken a picture because I would have had to bring my actual camera because I had a Nokia phone. Because I lived there, like Blackberries had been out and smartphones had just maybe started coming out. And then when I came back from living in Ukraine, everybody had smartphones. And I went into the T-Mobile store, and I didn't want a smartphone. I wanted a phone with buttons. And I told the guy, I was like, I want a phone, but like as basic as possible. Like, I don't want any apps. And he's like, ma'am, your calculator's an app. It's like, damn it. I gotta catch up with the times now.
Looks like Rowan's headed to sleep. Get some sleep, buddy.
Good night, darling.
Take care, okay? All right, he is taking naps. These guys, give some love in the chat to Rowan if you guys got the emojis. Here's the Rowan emoji right here. He's headed out. That'd be Weeview. He's out there. He's back at it too, guys. He's back out. He's back out. He's back out there. So show him some love, please. Very cool that he got to stop by. I'm really stoked about that. I'm really stoked that you got to meet him too. That's really, really cool.
Yeah. Yes, agreed. He's so sweet.
So what do you think right now the top demanded stuff for is from your units? What are they asking for mostly? Sorry, I'll answer that in a second. Mr. Squiggle asked if I need a torch, a flashlight, or if I glow in the dark instead. That's a good question. I don't know. Hopefully I need a flashlight, but it'd be pretty cool to glow. I could make some money off that for Ukraine. So top requests right now are primarily batteries, different kind of batteries, from car batteries, power banks, like power basically, whether it's for vehicles or living situations. And generators, power type stuff. And then medicine as always. Trying to think of some other, that's been like and then the drone jamming systems. Those have been the main things. Drone jammers, batteries.
Yeah.
Medicine.
Yeah, the red systems for the top of the cars, which those are anywhere from, we paid $1,600 up to $2,500 depending on the strength and all that stuff. And then the generators and the power banks and everything really just depends on the size. I mean, the generators can be, I'll look back, I think generally they're like we pay like $250 to $350. I think they might be a little more money. Everything's getting really expensive over there now, but and here. And then power banks can be from a 300-400 smaller, 300-400 to 1,000. If you're going up to like all the EcoFlows and stuff, those are higher. So just depending on what kind, and they all you'll fix all our tech shit. Nice. They all it just depends. Like because some of the guys, they'll ask for smaller things because if they don't need a giant power bank, like they're not going to ask for one because it might need to be movable, like more easily portable. And two, these guys know, like, the ones that we're usually working with now, like they know, okay, well, we can ask for the biggest power bank, but then when we need something next week, there's not going to be enough, there's not going to be funds for it, so they're usually, most of the time, like we just kind of go based off of their what they ask for, because these guys have been through this, they know what works, they've tried the different brands, so what they ask for, and sometimes it's not even just their preference, it's like availability. How fast can we get it? These guys are going back out to they're going out on a deployment, like how fast can we get it out to them, kind of thing. So
Right.
that can also affect it. So yeah, the EcoFlows are good. There's some small, not smaller, but there's some Ukrainian branded power banks that are one's called the Bandera power bank, and because of course they named it that. But those have been pretty reliable, and we've bought quite a few of those, and they're cheaper. Yeah, I don't know. So we just kind of those are the main things.
Right.
But there's always medicine and food.
Yeah, going into the winter, I'd imagine medicine, food, and
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah. There. Yeah. So I'll probably get some, based on the last couple of years, requests for like blankets and stuff like that for a lot of the guys, just to like padding to sit on, and blankets when they're out in the trenches and stuff. Sometimes winter uniforms, because the thing is, like, even with the blankets and stuff, like and with a lot of things, we can buy them stuff, but like then their shit gets blown up, so it's like, well, why do we have to keep buying blankets every year? Well, because they're not in the same hole in the ground, because, they're an FPV struck it and it collapsed in, or you know what I mean? Like, so there's just some of that stuff. It's, what's the word I'm looking for?
Consumable?
Yes. Yeah. Like, even helmets and things like that. So, and there's a lot of that, and blankets are a little bit easier, although they're expensive.
Yeah. You're talking like wool blankets?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wool's the way to go, I'd imagine, because it stays warm when it's wet too.
Yeah, and I've had some people donate big, thick wool blankets and stuff here, and then I've used them to, when I ship packages over there, I'll use them to like pad the packaging, so it kind of works, like pad the boxes and stuff, so the items in there, so that I've sent some over, but for the most part, it's still more effective to buy them there. So, and then winter uniforms is another thing. Occasionally, if somebody doesn't have one from last year or whatever, they because obviously winter uniforms and coats and things like that are needed, because it's going to be freaking cold. So, and not only just cold, but they're sitting outside in it. We buy quite a few. They have these little propane. They're like little propane tanks, and then they can cook on it or just use it for heat or whatever. So we get quite a few of those, and those are pretty cheap. I can't remember how much, but I remember thinking every time that they're relatively cheap. So they, they'll fry up some food on there if they want to cook with it, or which also, helps with the heat and warmth and everything. So that's another wintertime thing that I get asked for a lot.
I'd imagine. Do you feel like, I kind of want to know your perspective this winter. Do you feel like, as far as donation wise, are you hopeful that things are going to pick up? Are people going to have like the holiday spirit and feel like donating more? Do you feel like, or do you think You think it's gonna keep going the direction it's going, getting quiet?
I don't think it's going to get any better. I don't think it's going to get better.
No.
No, because I mean, especially in the U.S., because of things seem to keep getting more and more unstable. So and so yeah, people just aren't going to be able to give money, or and just the holidays are hard for people in general, because a lot of people do help, not a lot, but some people help locally and do some, donations around Thanksgiving to local organizations, which is great. And I fully support that. And I also do work in my own community as well, not to the same level, obviously, because I live in a very nice community and the number of people in the needs are not as big here. But and then around Christmas, of course, that's just expensive with traveling and gifts and things like that. So yeah, that on top of everything, the winter is always pretty tough. I've been meaning to reach out, because it is the end of the year. So sometimes I'll get a little pop from people, like larger donors that are like have extra from their donation budget, to write off for this year. So sometimes I'll get a little pop there. But yeah, for the most part, winter's pretty tough. So.
Well, I know on our end here on our channel, we're gonna do what we can through the winter. I plan to stick with you in this through at least December into January sometime. Definitely got to complete this one. It looks like Grunge Thing threw in 1979 donation. Since that year, we were at war, and we will win. Thank you, Grunge. Thank you very much. No,
He said, "You've got the lyrics. Get more platform. Ukraine needs your ass."
Yeah, facts, right? Time to expand. I'm actually planning to expand as well come next year, sometime February, March, April. I'm gonna probably start another streaming account, dual stream. So
Nice.
really step it up to see if we can't.
And doing stuff like this is also, I know, like joint streams and stuff like that is helpful. So that's something I wanted to comment on winter really quick, just to tag on what I was just saying. The war slows down quite a bit too. So, because the Russians don't want to be out fight, one, a lot of equipment can be affected by the cold. So some stuff might not work, like drone batteries, things like that, or whatever. Like they're also just not as active, like all of them. So that they're still fighting, and I'm sure they're still going to be Russia's still going to be launching like missiles and drones and stuff at civilians. But as far as like the guys on the ground and everything, it's not as intense as it is. It'll pick back up in the spring once the offensives or whatever start again. So that part is a little bit, yes, it slows down, but the demand isn't quite as high as it is when they're like full battle season in the spring and summer.
Right. So everything kind of slows down, I'd imagine. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Well, that's good. We're still going to do our part. This is going to be my first fundraising winter as far as it goes for me. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. Well, I got to go cook brownies for my kids here in a little bit. You got anything you want to wrap it up with, Paige, before I head on out on your? Yeah, I'm going to do brownies and ice cream. They saw the ice cream, like, are you making dessert? I'm like, maybe. Are you gonna be good? Like, they're like, what are you making? I'm like, something with ice cream. Why are you asking?
Nice.
It's a little bit of surprise.
I think I'm just gonna check and see if I had any. I have a bunch of. I'm gonna send you some of these if you want to use them for a. I feel like I saw one that was one of the things you have on your wall. But
Paige, I absolutely have to get one of your murder whore patches for my personal.
Oh, you're getting one. You're getting one. So I have some of these too. I'm gonna send you that are like, and you can, keep some, do whatever. But they're like little, like for your like car windows or whatever. They've got like little suction things, but different groups like like the 203rd is a brigade that I've done a lot. So anybody that's like donated to my stuff has helped the 203rd, because we've got a couple of units, but got all sorts of stuff like that. Some things, yeah, I won't take through all of it, but I'm gonna be sending you some of that stuff, and you can, yeah, some gifts, and then some things to help with fundraising and all that. I've got so much. I've got so much of it, and like I was saying to you yesterday or whatever, it's not doing any good sitting in my house, and I don't have enough time to keep up, all the time with that. So it'll, if you said, you're on board, so let's get them out to people that will appreciate it, and we, as appreciation for their help.
Yeah, no problem. I can definitely throw together some raffle streams here soon. So that would be.
Sorry, go ahead.
That would be absolutely cool to have. So I look forward to getting that stuff.
Perfect. Here's a fun little tidbit that has nothing to do with the war, but just the Ukrainian language. The word for your belly button is poop, or like poopik, which I think is poopik is like the diminutive, and that always cracked me up. So,
well, every time I think of my belly button
now you know.
All right.
Було дуже приємно говорити з вами. Дуже дякую за допомогу. Все, на добраніч. Thank you very much. Thanks for all of your help.
Dякую
We'll
за
talk soon.
підтримку. Okay,
For
Paige.
sure. Thank
All
you
right.
guys very much.
All right, I'll throw your X account out a little more and try to get we'll get in touch again too. Soon.
Sounds good.
I'm sure we'll have more to talk about as well.
For sure. All right. Thank you. До побачення. Bye.
All right, guys, there was Paige. Let me shut that down, open this up here. Gotta go clicky. Paige in Kansas, guys, on the channel. Really cool. We're gonna check the fundraiser. We'll do a little counting together on this one. Really cool. I'm glad she took the time every day. I wish I had more time. I don't. I got some kids that want some brownies. Let's do a little counting. Let's see what we came up with. We'll go over the donations one more time too. Tonight on the stream, guys, on the stream. LJ Boone 100, Jason 200, Mitch 55, Dollar Straws 10, Gene 100, Danger Noodler Snack 150, Cypher 20, Steve Sane 20, iJedi 100, guys. Grunching $19, guys. We killed it tonight, guys. We absolutely killed it tonight. That's well over $600 in donations on one stream, guys. Thank you. I know the guys of the 14th they absolutely will appreciate this. I'll have a total for you guys tomorrow. It's well over $600 we raised tonight. So kudos to everybody on the stream. Kudos to Paige for coming by and hanging out with us. And guys, we gotta keep doing this. We gotta keep doing this. We gotta keep it up. We gotta keep the support up because like a lot of people aren't paying attention. So we're gonna circle back. We're gonna start paying more attention on my channel. We're gonna do more of these. We're gonna do some raffle streams now. I've got some merch coming from Ukraine that Paige has. Awesome things. Shout out to Rowan stopping by in the chat. Frontline soldier right now, out on duty. Took his time out to come join us tonight and hang out with me and Paige. That was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Shout out to Nick Suter from In Time for the raid earlier. Absolutely epic, guys. And a great conversation with Paige. Great. Absolutely great. More to come, guys. We've got more interviews to come too. Got more people lined up. I want to get Rudy Acosta on here from Rudy's Reactions also. And then we got a couple other people. We're going to talk some more geopolitics as well, of course, because we have big things that just occurred. Congressman Swalwell going for California governor. Marjorie Taylor Greene is out of politics, done. But then we're also going to talk about Ukraine. We have to keep Ukraine the focal point. I feel mentally strong enough to carry on conversations about it. I shy away from a lot of it because it's hard to talk about. But we're in a good spot, guys. We're in a good spot, and we're doing great on the fundraiser. I think we killed half of the fundraiser tonight alone. So thank you to everybody who donated. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Remember, keep donating to the 14th. All the links are in the description as well if you guys need any of the info. All right? Here's your outro.
Ця пісня лунає з самої землі, в ній заклик поколінь та прагнення до волі. Нікуди не зникала, вона була завжди, її слова зберіг вільний вітер в полі. Гори додали своє життя, б'ють в барабан, хвилі у морі, бачили різне, відвагу, любов, пам'ять крізь час та надію крізь горе. Поверніться живими, герої, ви мусите жити під сонцем новим. Для тих, що чекали вдома, для тих, що не повернулись живими. Поверніться живими, будь ласка, розкажете дітям ще на ніч казку під сонцем новим. Розвійте тим, брудні ворогів розтануть сліди. Якби ж одної чистої віри достатньо було, щоб перемогти, і правди одної достатньо, аби смерті до ворога шлях знайти. Доволі, якби було слово поета, щоб назад полетіли ракети. Якби ж почувши дитинний плач, із сорому скоїв самогубство кат. Але ні, якщо б не герої, якби не їх воля залізна, коли б не взяли до рук зброї. Складати вірші було пізно. Вчорашні звичайні люди сьогодні тримають землю і небо. Ніхто не знає, що завтра буде, але вони роблять все, що треба.